Is
Apparently Skype doesn't
MTI
like being on for 3 days straight.
MTI joining us?
I believe he is. He was in chat just a second ago here.
MTI is never far.
Could definitely use his help. I can't like say anything during character creation.
Okay, hello?
There
MTI.
is.
Hey, sorry about that. I disconnected my computer. I unplugged it for 3 seconds, and that was enough to decide, nope, gonna turn off. And so...
That's no problem. The chat doesn't mind waiting. They could hear Dexter and mine's Abbott and Costello of Twitch all day, every day.
Alrighty then.
Who's on screen 1? What's on screen 2?
Yeah. I don't know, screen 3.
That's his name.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready, Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't see my game up on the stream.
You should now. You should now.
All right, I'm gonna delete the data real quick, just so. I mean, I don't think I can use it anyway, but just to do it.
Okay. Oh, you haven't created the characters yet, or?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks, strap on your seatbelts. This is going to be a crazy one. Wizardry, starring Jimmy Poopins, co-starring the beautiful MTI.
The beautiful MTI, yeah.
And I'll
Fair
pass it
enough.
off to you guys for this monster of a game.
All
Do
right.
you want me to count it down or tell you a cue?
I'll tell you when you count down. I'm gonna switch over to your audio and everything here.
Okay.
Switch over to your audio and everything here. All right, I'm ready.
Everybody's ready. Anybody down? Don't look at me.
Can you guys hear?
I'm not counting anybody down. Don't look at me.
I could do the countdown if you guys like. Do you hear us, Jimmy?
I can still hear you.
Yep, we hear you, Jimmy. Are you? Let me know. I'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Are you ready for that? Alrighty. Dexter, Bad Breaks, you ready? On the clock.
Go for it.
Let's put 20 seconds on the clock. Okay. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, countdown. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. So this is Wizardry, the proving grounds of the Mad Overlord, or Overload, as the strategy guide actually has on the front cover. It actually does say Mad Overload, and I want to say the fan translation of the first trilogy on SNES also says Mad Overload at points instead of Overlord. But anyway, we're just going creating some characters here. Now I'm guessing, Jimmy, you really only need 1 stat for a lot of these characters, if I remember right. Okay. And how do you go about getting that HP? I imagine it's Vitality? Okay. Right, okay. Okay. Sure.
Empty, have you played this game?
I have played this, yes. I actually, Wizardry is one of the very few games/series where, as far as I'm concerned, like, in terms of, doing everything you can short of outright cheating, and sometimes even outright cheating, to beat the game, I still say, you know, it counts. You know, there were a lot of games, like, especially when I was in, like, high school and college, where I'd play through it on an emulator using save states or whatnot, but I wouldn't necessarily count that as being beaten. I would specify that I use save states, not for Wizardry. This game is so brutally unfair that anything you can do to get through it is fair game as far as I'm concerned. So, Wizardry was one of the first PC RPGs, actually. It is maybe one of the original dungeon crawlers, and so it's very hugely influential, much more in the Dungeons and Dragons style, especially like late 70s, early 80s Dungeons and Dragons, where as opposed to the Dungeon Master kind of playing with the characters and sort of giving them a fun challenge, the philosophy of playing against the characters and trying to destroy them horribly was much more accepted, and this game is very much in that style. So,
Sounds good to me.
yeah. It's pretty brutally hard. I would definitely, when I used to play this and some of the later Wizardries that came out on console, I would sit very near the reset button so I could die for it if something went extremely wrong.
Is this one of those games that requires pen and paper? Maybe some graph paper?
Yes. You know, it's not a... the dungeon is not randomly generated. But yes, if you play through it, you know, normally and not using maps that are already out there on the internet, it is very much required that you map everything out yourself.
Do you recall any Nintendo Power Assistants back in the day, or any handbooks that were out there?
There was a strategy guide, as I mentioned, which I actually owned at one point, and other than that, this actually didn't get much of any Nintendo Power coverage, if I remember right. I remember seeing ads in various magazines for Wizardry 2, but the NES port of that is. Interesting fact about some of the early Wizardry sequels, if they were to come out today, they would probably be more properly classed as like expansion packs or DLC than actual proper sequels. The original, Mac/PC versions of Wizardry 2 and 3. Whoa, yo, that 25. Nice. And of course, it's all going into like 3 stats instead of making the cool class. But anyway.
Are those luck-driven then? Some of the menuing here?
Yeah, the stats that the bonus points that you get are random. And nice. And you got that on what, a cleric or a mage? Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, everything dies to Ordinal, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Okay, people are saying they can't hear you in the chat, Jimmy?
That might help. Probably.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We've been able to hear you. We'll check the chat.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I just turned it on,
We'll wait for the lag.
yeah. See what people are saying now, I just turned it on. Sorry, I left it off for the race, I didn't even realize I was supposed to turn it on here.
Okay. Ah, he's back. There he is. Alright, we can hear you now.
Excellent. So if there's anything vital that you just talked about.
Right.
Yeah, well, I can just explain the character creation, because this is a little bit easier to talk while I do this. I wanted to get a higher than like 16 or 17 on each of my rolls, which is a 1 in 20 chance, so that's why that took a little while. And I got the 25 on the mage, which is like crazy. It's a 1 in 400 chance of getting higher than that. And it's actually like by far better to get it on the mage, because I don't have like very much like leeway in distributing stats. Everyone needs high vitality for the last fight because they use a bunch of AoE attacks that just wipe you out. But I have to sit here and grind this ghost for a really long time, and
Hashtag grinding.
yeah, he has a really high armor class because he's a ghost. Like you're not supposed to hit him with physical attacks so well. So I debuff him with the mages, but I want high agility on the mages for that reason, so that they can act before the fighters do. But there's like a balance there between, there's a balance between vitality and agility on the mages.
Right, so the good thing about that ghost is it can only do 2 damage per attack. It will either miss or it will do 2 damage, and that's basically its entire moveset. So that is why, in a speedrun, you immediately go grind on... you go and you grind on Murphy's Ghost right away. In a more casual playthrough, you'd probably want to wander around the first level and get a couple levels before you try this, but... even casually, you do eventually end up just wailing away on Murphy's Ghost here for a while. So, about the game itself, it is a 10-level dungeon. Interestingly, the only 4 levels you actually have to visit are 1, 4, 9, and 10. You basically take an elevator from level 1 to level 4. You fight another battle that gets you... I want to say it's the blue ribbon is what allows you to take the express elevator.
Yeah.
You take that from 4 down to 9, and then you take level 9, you fall down a chute down to level 10. So.
Yeah, if you play this game casually, like, I mean, I never played it when I was younger. I just,
Right.
my dad played it. I don't know how he actually beat it, but I don't think there's really any indication that that's a route that you can take to get to the last level. Like naturally, you're just gonna want to progress through the levels,
Right.
which takes like a really long time, and I mean there's puzzles and riddles and stuff. So it's if you don't have any help, this game, as MTI said before, is like just ridiculous.
It really is. And 2 other interesting notes: the levels 6, 7, and 8 in this version are actually completely different than they are in the PC version. They, for whatever reason, changed them for the NES version. And as at least an indirect and possibly a direct result of that, because I'm not super familiar with the PC version, honestly, not only is the 1, 4, 9, 10 path, the only 4 floors you have to visit, but you actually have to take the express elevator in order to beat the game. There's no path from 8 to 9 except for the elevator. Like, there's no stairway. I was about to say you'll see stairs later on, but you probably will not see stairs later on, because again, you're going 1 to 4 to 9 to 10. But normally playing through the game and just getting stronger, acquiring items, you would, take stairs from 1 floor down to the next. Floor 1 to floor 2, and floor 2 to floor 3, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so let me explain the spells I'm casting. At level 1, the mages get a sleep spell, and the way it works, if a monster is asleep, like their evasion is just like 0, so it's really easy to hit them when that happens. And then once they hit level 3, they gain the level 2 spells, and it's just a straight up armor class debuff, so that makes it so the fighters can hit a lot easier. Also, only the front 3 row people can attack. When you make characters, you can like access advanced classes by putting your stats into certain, like getting them to do a certain amount. But the way this game works is all of the classes require different amounts of EXP, like per level. So if I was to make like a samurai, for example, instead of a fighter, which is one of the options, it just wouldn't be worth it because they would need so much XP to level. They would be under-leveled at the end. And the goal here is to get level 9 with the mages. And they actually have they need the most EXP, so when they get level 9, everyone else will also be level 9. But the reason I need that is every odd level you get new spells. And there are some spells that you pretty much can't beat the game without. Like the battles are just too hard without them. And as we'll see, what was I gonna say? Sorry, it's hard to concentrate. I'm not sure what I was going to say.
I'll kind of jump in here.
Yeah.
The strategy for the final boss, the funny thing is, conceptually, the strategy is basically the same regardless of whether you're speedrunning or you're doing it casually. It is basically chuck a spell at Wordna, and Wordna is the final boss, by the way. You chuck a spell at Wordna, and you pray it gets through his ludicrous magic resistance, and you reset if you fail. Or if you're absolutely determined to, play it fairly, the spell fails, you die, and you lose tens of hours of progress. But the only real difference here is what spell you throw at him and pray that it hits, more or less.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. Sorry, you'll see how the end battle is just ridiculous. This run really consists of 4 things. One is grinding, get the blue ribbon, which takes a very small amount of time, just a few minutes, and then getting to Wordna and then fighting Wordna. And fighting Wordna is just like a reset fest. I think in my best run, I did it in. Oops, I shouldn't have fought this. I did it in 5 minutes, but it's taken me up to 20 minutes. That's why I gave a pretty long estimate. Realistically, this should be done within an hour.
There is a way more casually you can kind of get the fight down to you and Wordna easily enough. The final fight, Wordna is guarded by a vampire lord, and then is it anywhere from 1 to 4 vampires? Or 2 to 4?
In general, yeah. You can get some crazy groups, but that's most common.
Okay, yeah, it's true. I think I watched you do this at AGDQ in one of the practice rooms, and now that I think about it, I think I remember seeing randomly, Vampire Lord 4 vampires, and then another 4 vampires, or something dumb like that.
Yeah, and then you just reset right away.
Yeah. But if you get the single vampire group, more casually, you can get the fight down to you and Wordna easily enough, but you still have to survive that first round, and after that you still have to pray your spell hits him, so... We'll talk a little bit more about the strategy when we get there, but...
Yeah, also we mentioned the resetting. The way the game works is if you reset in the middle of battle, it just takes you back a little bit before you, if you reset you just basically resume your party at a checkpoint, and the checkpoints get created whenever you, after every battle you complete, and whenever you go into camp, and then just periodically. I'm not sure the exact reasoning behind the rest. But all you do is you go into camp before Wordna, and that creates that checkpoint. So then, if my battle goes poorly, I can just reset, and I don't have to worry about it. So you'll see a lot of resets later, and it's also something that I do in the last area, because all of the enemies that you face in the last area, there's a lot of really hard encounters fixed encounters on your way to Wordna. Sort of this room here. Every time I enter this room, I encounter Murphy's Ghost. So I have to go through a bunch of forced encounters like that. Except the enemies that I face will be random. So I need to reset if I get a bad group or whatever.
Right, that is something else we didn't mention. Getting to Wordna on the 10th floor is by no means guaranteed casually either, because it's not quite a boss rush, but it is a battle rush of, I think, 7 battles. It might be 6. But the point is, some of those can be very difficult, and if you see the wrong enemy, again, you just reset or you die. are basically your two options. So.
Yeah, and the battles, I don't know why they did this, but they're really like on opposite ends. You can get battles in the end where you fight like 4 Murphy's ghosts. You can also get battles with like greater demons and like level 11 ninjas that will like one-shot decapitate your party members. So yeah, that's why it's pretty bimodal there, multimodal on the different enemies you can encounter.
Yeah, as an example of how brutal this game is, I mentioned the strategy guide earlier, and this is, I believe, one of the only games I've ever seen where the official strategy guide actually recommends if you get into a fight with certain enemies, just reset, because you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
I specifically remember it talking about greater demons being one of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't even tried to fight those.
Don't.
Yeah. Just based on the name, like I reset.
Yeah. They're very hard to hit. They have brutal AoE spells. Just don't.
Also, some of the stuff that makes this game hard is, I mean, basically the menuing and just doing everything efficiently. Playing this game casually, again, it's a little bit tricky because you don't. All of the spells are weird, like Japanese kind of sounding names. Like Katino is the sleep spell. So I don't know. Are they in the manual? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay.
They're in the manual. I like to say that in the PC version, the spells were almost a form of pseudo copy protection. Because when you cast a spell, you had to type the name of it. So, you know, if you didn't know what the spell you were trying to cast was, you were just not going to be able to cast a spell. So.
Interesting.
But yes, they are, you know, it does mention the name, the quote-unquote translation, and then, you know, the effect of it. The actual effect. So. I don't know if it necessarily makes 100% sense, but certain spells, there is a certain kind of internal logic to the spell naming. Like Halito is your basic fire spell, and then the next stronger version is Mahalito, and then Lahalito. And you see that like kind of base, and then Ma, and then La for some of the other spells as well.
Yeah, I've noticed, I think there's some spells with Ma that, like, gain an area effect.
Right.
Or what is the Dilto upgrade? I forget. There's 2 Dilto upgrades. Yeah, once I
know some of these don't necessarily have upgrades, or if they do, they're not logically named sometimes, but... yeah, okay, people in chat are saying it's kind of its own language. So.
It's actually, I kind of submitted this game as a joke, but I got in, and I'm interested to see, like, the people that are watching that, like, if they played this or not, because it seems like some people were kind of hyped for it, so that's cool. But yeah, if you've never seen it before, it's probably not too exciting. Menuing it is kind of interesting, and just how quick it is.
Right, yeah, it's cool you're doing stuff fast, but it's if you've never played this, the very concept of trying to speedrun it and how difficult A, the game is, and B, speedrunning it is, you know, might be a little lost, but you know, you can see obviously you're moving through the menus and things very fast, so.
Yeah, so I think that's level 7. 2 more. Unfortunately, level 8 and 9 take a little while, but... Oops.
Right, yeah. Because it's a very simple experience formula from level to level. It's just a fairly simple logarithmic thing. But I forget what the exact formula is. But it's, you know, up to level 12 or 13, and then it's just a constant value each level that you need after that. Because, again, modeled after Dungeons and Dragons, so they didn't expect you to get too far beyond level 13.
Mm-hmm.
As Tendale says, yes, this game was actually very influential to JRPGs. The Yuji Horii, one of the creators of Dragon Quest, actually mentioned this was a major influence on him. So,
Huh. That's pretty cool.
yep. Wizardry was huge in Japan. I
Huh.
mean, in its time in the U.S., it was popular too.
Yeah.
PC and whatnot, but it was huge in Japan. I think even though Surtech, the company that created Wizardry, went out of business about 15 years ago, I want to say through some quirk in the Japanese licensing, they're actually still making Wizardry games today in Japan.
Yeah, there's a lot of third-party. I don't know if third-party exactly is the right word, but spin-off kind of with the Wizardry name and everything's the same. It's just you can't attach a number after it.
Right.
There's the PlayStation 2 one was really good. Tales of the Forsaken Land, I think it was.
Yeah, I've heard that was pretty good. I haven't played it myself. And wasn't there one on the PS3 as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was. You could get it in the PlayStation Store. There's an iPhone version too.
Yeah, cool.
That one is a little bit hard to control though. I downloaded, but yeah, it wasn't that great. Yeah, but this game is the series has a lot of games in it. There's first 3 were for the NES. I think 2 were US. 1 was Japan only. That's Wizardry 3.
Yeah. I was actually mentioning earlier that the original PC releases would probably not be proper sequels today because Wizardry 2 and 3 on PC, you actually needed a party from Wizardry 1. You had to import it in from Wizardry 1. You couldn't just create a new party. And so Wizardry 2 and 3 on NES are actually a bit different in that sense because they're, you can't really import from NES game to NES game, so Wizardry 2 at least was kind of rebalanced so it functioned better as a standalone game because Wizardry 3 I think they kind of rebalanced a little bit because your characters kind of reset to level 1 but just with kind of some bonuses when you move them into Wizardry 3.
Oh, okay.
But Wizardry 2 they just keep whatever levels you have. So Wizardry 2 in particular on PC is just an expansion pack for Wizardry 1 basically.
Yeah, I read about that. I know they couldn't do that with the NES, so the NES is standalone. Yeah, two quick things I want to mention. Something about this game, you can't actually mash as fast as possible. I don't know why they did that. I'm wondering if it was for auto controllers. I'm not sure, but you have to press the A button 2 frames down, and you have to not press it for 2 frames. So if I press it every other frame, as fast as possible, which would work in pretty much every other game, it just won't register. So I'm not trying to mash A as fast as possible. There's a little rhythm to it. And the other thing, it's hard to have a working short-term memory with this. Let me try to think about what it is. You can say something else.
No, just I'm kind of showing my age here saying expansion pack. I know nowadays it would be, DLC or whatever, but that's
Oh, well, it's not what I was gonna say, but you notice all of the ACs are 10.
yes.
There's a bug in this game that armor on your own characters don't actually do anything. And this was modeled after the older D&D, the original and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where high armor class was not as good, you wanted lower armor class. So 10 AC is the worst AC in this game. But on my characters it makes absolutely no difference.
Right.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying the weapons do make a difference though. And also enemy armor class makes a difference. So that's why I can debuff Murphy's Ghost and it makes him easier to hit. the spell I'm casting just reduces his armor class. That's all it does, but it works.
Okay, yeah, so what I was going to say about armor class is that armor class doesn't work, well, as you were saying, it doesn't work at all, but if it worked properly, it's not like you tend to think of like defense power in a Dragon Quest or a Final Fantasy series. The do you hit or not and the damage that you do or that you take are actually two separate calculations, and armor class, even if it worked, would only affect, I believe, the that first calculation, the do you hit or not.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Which is, you know, partly why fighting Murphy's Ghost here is safe pretty much right away in a speed run. Because, again, it doesn't matter what your armor class would have been, it's either going to miss or it's going to do 2 damage, which is not that much early on, even early on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right.
But, what was I gonna say? But yeah, relating to that, you know, if an enemy can do like 50 to 100 damage to you, which as you can see is quite a lot in this game, if it gets through your armor class, it doesn't matter what your armor class is. If it hits, it's going to do between 50 and 100 damage, and it's going to kind of suck, so. Yeah, people bringing up the 2-hit armor class 0 tables from old school Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah. And Thaco, or however you say it. I never actually played the old one. I just knew about them.
Right. Yeah. Except for one time years and years ago, I've never really played Dungeons and Dragons myself. So. Ooh, excuse me.
Also, the way I get back, like I run here one route, and then for whatever reason they put this room, I don't even know what the text says, but you enter it and it just teleports you back to town. So I'm running there.
Right.
And that room that I'm running to is also right by the elevator, so that's where I'm going to go as soon as I hit level 9 to get the blue ribbon.
Okay. So we should be close to level 9 here, I think. We're probably on level...
Yeah, I'm level 8. I'm going to need 1 or 2 more trips back. I have a little table that tells me how many Murphy's Ghosts I need to kill.
Okay.
So I'm going to consult that once I rest here again.
Yeah, it's I won't go so far as to say based on, but it is very inspired by old Dungeons and Dragons and AD&D. A lot of these systems, like the spell system, where you have a certain number of casts per level, that is also very D&D inspired. So, but it is not a Dungeons and Dragons like licensed game per se. No. And yeah, as armor would reduce your AC, which would be a good thing, except that again, it just doesn't work for whatever reason in this version. So.
Also, I do think it works in the older PC version. That's what I was told, which is kind of weird. They just forgot a function or whatever in this.
Yeah.
All right, so let's consult the table. Try to see how much the mages need. Okay, 10506. Oh crap, it's covered up. 1 second.
Oh no. You're probably looking at about
15
Murphy's Ghosts. Yeah. Just had to do the quick calculation.
Crap, I didn't rest with the other mage.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I should go back. No, I'll just cast spells with one of them. It's okay. So the fighters get a lot more useful as they gain levels, in terms of like not needing mage debuffs. So early on I'm just like casting everything every round because they're not going to hit otherwise, but here I only need to cast a few. Like I'm casting 1 sleep and 2 armor debuffs. If I use them like every round here, it's a little bit overkill and I have to go back too often.
Right, I think it's every 4 levels, fighters gain another chance to hit per round of combat, so...
Oh, okay. That's something I didn't know, but that makes sense.
Yep. and then certain weapons can give additional chances to hit as well. So.
Also, you see up on the top right, whenever there's a 0 in parentheses, that means my sleep stuck. So they can like wake up after they're hit or like at the end of a round. Again, that's why I want the mages to cast first, because oftentimes I'll put them to sleep, but it won't actually stick until the end of the round. So I really want them to cast before the fighters get an action.
Right, that top right number is basically the number of enemies in that group who are active. Besides sleep, there's a couple other things you can do to temporarily take them out of combat. I think there's a paralysis spell and maybe petrification?
Yeah, maybe.
That would just kill them, but
something I wouldn't
anyway,
know
that's
because...
that's what that number is on the top right.
Yeah. Also, as this goes on, I'm slowly healing my fighters, like as I notice their HP drop, trying to keep them level, because that's the best way for me to heal up. The cleric heals does a little bit of or decent healing now that I'm level 8. Okay, so the fighters are almost leveled. Mage needs 5319. Which is 8 Murphy's Ghosts.
Okay.
So almost done. And then we can go deeper in the dungeon, which means taking an elevator.
Yep. Because the Mad Overlord is mad, and he thought it would be a good idea to put elevators in his dungeon, obviously.
That's what I would do if I was the Mad Overlord. There's actually, as we mentioned before, last boss's name is Wordna. Backwards is Andrew. So I don't know exactly what Andrew is, but he had to do with making the game.
Yep. And
go ahead.
similarly, the Mad Overlord's name is actually Trevor, which is Robert backwards. And Robert was another one of the people who made the original version of this. So.
Just say 8 Murphy's Ghosts?
Yeah, you said 8.
I lost count, but I think
Okay,
I think I've killed 3. So it should
Quick
be
note,
4.
sometimes you see an interesting kind of segregation of gameplay and logic here, where basically every time you get into a battle, there's a small chance... Oh, we just saw it there. Cool. Thanks, game. The monster surprised you, which, you know, even though this is about the 200th Murphy's Ghost you killed, apparently that time you didn't expect it to pop out when you searched for some reason, I guess. But yeah, anytime you get into a battle, there's a small chance that either you'll surprise the monster or the monster will surprise you, which, you know, makes sense, except when you're grinding levels like this and you're repeatedly searching the same thing and fighting the same monster over and over, where you would think it wouldn't be a surprise to you.
Yeah.
But
so there's one way that I can kill this run, which I hope doesn't happen, and that would be if I accidentally menued or hit A too many times after my whole party died.
yes.
I've done that a couple times, but I'm gonna try to be really careful of it here. The other way is if I input the wrong coordinates with the amulet at the end, because when you kill Warden, the game isn't over. You get an amulet, and then this amulet can teleport you anywhere, any floor, any room, and you just have to go back to town to finish the game. So if you put in the coordinates wrong and you teleport to, I'm gonna do one more battle here for safety. If you teleport into a room that's just like a wall, then your party dies.
Yep.
And
Not even dies, your party is lost forever.
Yeah.
Because this game has a couple different forms, if you will, of actual permadeath, which is why the reset button is so important. Your party typically does not go back to the castle or to a save point when they die. They just stay in the dungeon as corpses. And So what you have to do then is you have to, you know, make a second party to go down and rescue the first party. But at that point, you're going to be strong enough that you don't really need the first party anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you try to resurrect the dead characters, what would end up happening is there's a chance to fail the resurrection. And if you fail the resurrection, your character goes from dead status to ash status. And at that point, you need either a very high-level cleric spell or the temple in the town. And so you get basically a second chance to try and revive them from ash status. And that can also fail. And if that fails, then your character is just lost forever. Equipment and everything just, boom, goes away. Character... I want to say the character might get deleted outright at that point. But... anyway, if you teleport into a wall, it is instant lost forever status on the entire party. So, don't do that.
So I can encounter friendly groups of monsters. And for some of these encounters coming up here, I can get that, which is like amazing, because you can just skip the encounter. Happens here often, yeah. So now I don't have to fight those were-rats. This battle is tough.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of the
kill the
first boss
ninjas.
battle, if you will.
I'm trying to silence the clerics. Makanito is going to kill a bunch of them outright. I guess Memorialist will work. So I have to keep my finger on the reset button here for if anyone dies. Okay, so that went pretty well. Okay, so the ninja, he needs to die because he can one-shot everyone. Okay, we killed the ninja, and the clerics are silent, so we should be good. So, oh, I didn't get the best spells on, oops, I didn't get the best spells on my cleric. If you get Bad Eye, it instantly kills someone, so you can use that to, try to kill Werdna. So,
okay.
I got that first try, which, that is very good. I did a practice run, it took me like 4 or 5 tries to do that.
Oh. So yeah, you skip the treasure chest there. The treasure chest contains a Rod of Flame and a Ring of Death. The Rod of Flame actually kind of useful. Ring of Death, if you can make it back to the town and sell it, it's awesome. And if you have a person who can identify it, because it'll just be mysterious ring. One of the things that we haven't really gone over is one of the...
Oh,
Never
I
mind.
hit fight on accident. I thought I pressed out.
Uh-oh.
There. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the ribbon. Sure, kill the spiders.
Kill the spiders, why not?
Okay, so now we go back to town. Oh, I took the long way. Oh well. So what the ribbon does is it just allows me to use the elevator that I couldn't before. So I'm gonna heal up, and then we enter the last area.
And you can see the ribbon is a question mark ribbon, because items, when you first get them, they are kind of unknown to your party what they are, outside of in general terms. And there is actually a, you can either pay money to have the item identified at the shop, or you can, there is a character class, the Wizard, that can attempt to identify items for you. And how well they do is based on how high their level is, so.
Authorized users only.
Yep. Surprising monsters.
Okay, so this is a forced encounter. That one is also friendly a lot. Okay, so now the walls change.
Yep.
And this is the last area. So I enter camp there to create the checkpoint, because I'm going to reset here a lot. Giant. This should be okay. That was amazing. Okay.
One giant. Oh, very nice.
I don't have this completely memorized. It's kind of, it's pretty mazy, so Mechanito kills some giants. I don't know what kind of giants they are. Okay, I killed all of them.
Nice. That was a lot of experience.
Yeah. I want to enter camp there. Oh yeah, I'm running from that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, again, High Masters, or basically any ninja type of enemy, has a chance to kill you instantly. They have a chance to decapitate you. Yeah, 2 thieves. Basically, one group of thieves is... That's one of the battle groups that you really want in this area. It's probably one of the easiest groups.
Those are ninjas.
Yep.
Fire dragons. Great. Oh, they surprised me. Okay, reset.
Oh, yeah, dragon zombies. You wanted to reset that battle anyway. Just trust me.
1 bleed. Okay. Bleeds control you really hard, but this should be okay. They call for help, so they can just keep calling and keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I can Machinito these guys again. Do I want to waste it though? Yeah, I can waste that. It's not really a waste. Okay, so this went really well. Yeah, like this would probably be a gold split. This is an amazing.
Yeah, this is going very well. Men in leather, I think, is just thieves, so...
Yep. So we are at the last fight. It's in a little bit here. Do I even have to heal?
Counters here.
I mean, I guess. Wow, I took like no damage. That was really good.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Alright, now I need to get ready to reset. Yeah.
Yep. See what we got here. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you want to talk about this strategy a little bit.
Sure. Well, the main thing that we're praying for here, I believe, is we are praying that we're going to cast Montino on Wordna to try and silence him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And we're basically going to pray that hits. That is the, that's the main thing.
Resetting.
Yeah, that did not go well.
Yeah, you can see how much damage they do. That Vampire Lord did more than half my health.
Yep. There we go, one vampire, okay.
Also, we're gonna cast a spell that basically just kills your whole party. Yeah, tilt-a-wait.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, by the way, the vampires can drain your levels as well, which is also fun.
Oh, dispel. You can actually dispel these. It's like,
yep.
It's crazy. You have to be crazy lucky to do it, but
yeah. Now is I know Zolon is a level 6 spell. Do you remember if it's mage or cleric?
I believe it's I don't remember.
Okay.
But it has to do with like killing undead enemies, so
yes.
Having Wordna to cast that is really good because it does.
Yeah,
really
that's
nothing.
basically what you want. Is you want him to try and, you know, if the, yeah, that was a reset. You know, if you can't get the silence spell to stick, that's kind of what you want him to do. You want him to repeatedly try and cast Zolon on your party. But anyway, again, the basic concept is basically the same casually. The specifics are a little bit different. At some point, you're still going to have to fling a spell at Wordna and pray it hits. But more casually, what you would do is, I believe Zolon is a mage spell. So what you would do is Zolon the Vampire Lord with a mage, your cleric, who will be higher level than level 9, try and dispel the vampires, and then, the second round, instead of trying to silence Wordna, you'd probably just fling Tilt-O-8 at him and pray that hits. But again, it still comes down to throw spell, pray it gets through his absurd magic resistance, reset if you fail. So.
Yeah, like I mentioned this before, one thing that's a little bit unfortunate about this is the spells that you get are random. Like if you're max level, you're gonna learn all of them eventually. But when you reach a new level, you only get some of them. Like then the next level you'll get more. So I actually didn't learn the outright kill spell. There's a spell called Bad Eye, which would just kill Wordna if it's stuck. So what I have to do is cast Silence on him. Now, it's close to the same thing because the way Wordna's AI works is he will keep trying to cast spells even if he's silenced. Now, once he starts running out of spells, he'll start attacking you. And that's bad because he pretty much one-shots anyone if he actually does a physical attack on you.
Yeah.
So there's like a little bit of a clock there. Like if almost my entire team dies and Wordna is silenced, I'm still probably gonna lose. Because eventually he's gonna take me out.
Right.
Also, if I silence him, it's also not over the Vampire Lord is really hard to kill.
Right. Right, again, casually you can typically deal with one or the other, but not both. You're eventually just gonna have to pray you get lucky, or lose all the progress. And yeah, that's one of the that is one of the hard things about this game, is that at, I won't say max level because I don't know what the max level is, but at about the level you would expect to be beating the game, you're probably about as strong as one of the strongest enemies in the game. So, Wordna is still extremely dangerous. Like, that Tilt-O-8 spell is probably going to kill all your magic casters, and it's going to leave your fighters hurting, even if they survive.
Can't really make up my mind what I want to do on these 1-1-3 groups. By the way, the record is, without character creation, it's like 49 minutes. So I don't know what I'm at now. I'm not gonna look, but it probably took me, I would guess, like between 6 and 8 minutes to create the characters here. And we were on really good pace until hitting Wordna, but I mean this is pretty typical. You have to get really lucky to complete this fight. Silence hasn't even stuck once, and if it does, the fight is not over by any means.
Right, you need the silence to stick to basically have a chance to win. And even then, it's not guaranteed, because again, the Vampire Lord and the Vampire are not exactly the easiest enemies either.
So my general strategy is if I get like 3 vampires, I'll try to take them out. And if I get 1 or 2, if I get 1 or 2, I'll just kill. I'll just throw everything at the Vampire Lord, because vampires, like, they can do some nasty stuff, but the Vampire Lords are crazy.
Right.
They'll drain levels and stuff like that. I'm wondering if I'm like getting some sort of, if I'm in some sort of RNG state, because I'm getting this encounter a lot, and I'm also getting him to cast Tilt-O-8 a lot. So I'm not. I'm wondering if I'm like doing a specific set of actions that's giving me the same RNG. It's varying a little bit, so if I am, it's not like consistently doing that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's pretty unlikely for him to cast Tiltweight this many times.
Hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That's
so
Tilto.
if you thought Murphy's ghost grinding was boring. Like, it's really exciting the first few fights, and then it becomes a drag after a little while. Okay, he has cast Zilwan,
Okay.
but I didn't get a
Just
silence
a
to
spell,
stick.
and someone just got drained 4 levels. Cool.
Okay, Vampire Lord is killed. Madolto, I can
Okay.
survive that. Is silence, this might be it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, he's draining levels. Which one is the heal paralyze?
Dialco, I believe it's
Dialco.
called.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, become asleep. This vampire's putting me to sleep. He's using my own tactics. Oh no. I forgot I only had 4 members.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh my god. What level are my fight? Oh, my cleric is paralyzed. That's bad.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'm just gonna cast Dilto on him.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go.
Jeez.
Those level drains.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast damage on him. I just need to kill this guy. Okay. So now I need to, this is gonna be tricky. Yeah, like I said, it's not over. I don't know how many times Dilto can stack, but I notice, it might go on indefinitely. I notice it gets better when you cast more, at least a few times.
Yeah, it does stack. I don't know how much it stacks.
Let's cast Memorless.
There you go.
You can't put him to sleep too, so... Oh, he is asleep. Okay, that's really good.
Oh, nice.
That didn't last long.
Nope, he's awake again.
Is asleep. Stay asleep. We got him. Okay.
Alright.
Alright, now what are these coordinates? And who get the amulet? 5 got it. Oh, you know it'd suck if someone who is paralyzed got it. Okay, where am I going? 17 west. 3 south. 9 up. And time is going to be in a minute here. And time.
GG. And the game gives you a bunch of golden experience that you no longer can use. That might be kind of an artifact of what I was talking about before, where you imported your characters from Wizardry 1 to 2 in the PC version. Because, I don't know if you've ever tried it, but in the NES version, if you try and go fight Wordna again, he's not there. That sign just before his door that says the wizard is in.
Oh yeah.
It says the wizard is out.
Oh really?
Try to go there with characters who've already beaten the game. And you can fight the Vampire Lord and the vampires, but Wordna himself isn't there.
Yeah, I don't know how long character creation took me there. That was definitely really close to the record. I don't think it was, but
Yeah,
I didn't time character creation, so I'm not really sure.
I don't know either, but that was really good. That was fun to watch. I think, anyway. Yeah, there you go. Original authors Robert Woodhead and Andrew Greenberg. You're talking about Trevor and Wordna.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope people enjoyed that. I know it's a little bit different than most of the games here, but we had some commentary going the whole time there, so hopefully it was interesting. I'll retime it just out of curiosity.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that
like
was up to Wordna. That was really good.
Yeah. Before Word, and that was insane. Yeah, Kelly flew in. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to take out the character creation, subtract that from the time, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one reason I think that helped a lot was this mage had the high agility in the beginning. That actually makes a huge difference.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for that opportunity. What is next?
Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom,
Oh, okay, good.
which is kind of a point and click RPG kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Fun stuff.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get off the call. Thanks for this opportunity. See you all for Rocky and Bullwinkle. Get ready for that.
Dear God.
Yeah, get hyped for that. Sadly, it's going to be a little bit too late for me to join the commentary for that, but
Okay, well, yeah, I'll see you all in chat.
yes, all right.
Bye.
Thanks for letting me commentate that. That was fun.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you guys. Great commentary and gameplay.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you. That was fun. I'll stick around in the chat though. So,
Yeah.
all right, bye.
Bye. And we're gonna get some Princess Tomato going. Just a second here.